Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and a friend of mine I saw on his social media this morning started talking about this Kinesio tape and linked some studies and stuff on it, and yeah, it seems to be getting more and more popular. I forgot about this stuff. I've only seen one person ever use it, even at a powerlifting meet, and she ended up getting injured while wearing it, and I thought it was just a bad thing, but apparently a lot of people use this stuff and think it does something. So let me put this hat on. And let's talk about it for a bit. Oops. Get my places in here, relax, and we'll discuss this stuff. Because this stuff falls in the area of something that's going to be one of these hustles. This is something that when you look at the research on it, the research is not showing what people seem to think it's going to show. A lot of people use this stuff because they put it on and it seems to, for some people, reduce pain in certain tendons and joints and things, particularly if they've had shoulder pulls. It seems to be like people who've had impingement of the rotator cuff in there, not the rotator cuff, the actual shoulder joint. I apologize, guys, it's early in the morning. The rotator cuff is actually muscles. But shoulder impingement seem to get some reduced pain from it. But here's the problem with some of that. When we start using Band-Aid fixes for everything, that's actually how you get hurt. The worst thing you can possibly do, and YouTubers are the worst about telling people to do this, showing people to do this themselves. And these are the guys who are going to get snapped up eventually. And the thing is, when you're experiencing pain from training, that's a sign that you're supposed to quit what you're doing. You're doing something wrong. You are injuring yourself. You need to stop. And that's going to be the cliff notes of this. There's your cliff notes. This, like anything else, isn't backed by the research. And it's one of those things that you need to quit doing if you're doing it to reduce pain. Now, again, going back to the other point though, your pain in your body, sharp pains, connective tissue inflammation, joint pains is a sign that you're doing something wrong. You're either creating a muscle imbalance, you're performing an exercise improperly, or you're overworking something in your body in a manner that is now causing injury instead of positive adaptation, because positive adaptation means you get bigger, you get stronger, you get better in some way, right? A positive adaptation, you're doing something in the hopes of improving something. And instead, pain like that is a sign that you're doing something incorrectly. You're actually injuring that area. And I can assure you that injuring a part of your body in no way makes it bigger or stronger or more aesthetic or anything else. It's never beneficial to injure part of your body. And that's exactly what people are doing when they are feeling pain. So, people put this on, and for some people, it does seem to reduce pain. Now, what does the research show? The research shows that for most pain, it doesn't even seem to help in a lab setting. I think I looked at a couple studies. I'm only going to link one down below. But one of them did note that some people seem to get some pain relief if they've had a shoulder joint impingement. But they noted that it doesn't seem to do anything for injury prevention. It doesn't do anything for injury recovery and healing. And for most areas of pain, it doesn't even seem to actually help in a lab. What the researchers have noted, though, is that there might be a placebo effect, which means a perceived benefit. So you put this on, if you think you're going to hurt less when you wear it, guess what? You sometimes hurt less when you wear it, because ultimately, let me ask you guys a question, where is pain at? Where do you feel pain? If I were to shoot you in the foot, one of these bullets, where would you feel the pain? In your foot? No, you'll feel it in your brain. That's where you register the pain. That's where you feel it at. Your brain interprets all these things. So if your brain sometimes, and it's not always, but sometimes if your brain interprets that a pain is going to be reduced or go away that's not an excruciating pain, you won't experience it. And in this case, by putting the thing on, you're not experiencing the pain. However, again, here's the problem with that. They don't prevent injury. They don't speed up recovery. The data shows that there seems to be no benefit whatsoever outside of a placebo effect for pain reduction. Well, if you're covering up a pain that your body knows you should be feeling, what are you doing? Think about it. What does that mean you're going to do? You've been doing a form of activity, training, whatever you're doing, and it starts causing pain in your body. And you use anything. I usually call them Band-Aid fixes. In this case, it's literally a big Band-Aid. But you use something to reduce that pain, either by causing pressure over the area, which some people think it creates support. No, not always. So a lot of times just putting pressure over an area deadens the nerves a little bit, like a nice tight wrap or something. or a tight sleeve, it's not keeping the area warm. Your body keeps the area warm already. You don't need to warm your joints. You don't need to warm your tendons. It's bullshit. The training alone will do that. And that doesn't necessarily prevent injury either, by the way, warming something. But what they're doing, they're oftentimes restricting a little bit of blood flow in that area, and then they can't feel it as much, right? It kind of numbs it a little bit. That's what's actually happening with a lot of these pain reduction methods. Well, you're training and it's causing pain, and now you have a way to alleviate that pain. So what do most people do when they find an object that they can use externally to put over something to reduce the pain? What do they then do? They keep doing the activity that was causing the pain. That is sheer stupidity. I mean, that is both ignorance and stupidity at the same time, because it would be ignorance if they didn't know any better, but any person with common sense knows that if you do something and it hurts, it's stupidity to keep doing it. Unless you want to get hurt. You know, something that's causing injury to a part of your body is what's going to make it hurt. You keep doing it, you're eventually going to hurt yourself. And if people don't understand that, that's stupidity. Because that's just common sense, that pain's bad. All right, and to just say, well, I'm just going to fight through this pain and keep doing this 20 more times. And I'll just use this object to reduce the pain so I can keep doing it. Well, when it finally does snap, or you permanently injure that part of your body, that's stupidity. You shouldn't do that. So the whole thing is, if you're needing to use one of these Band-Aid fixes, don't use the Band-Aid fixes. You need to change what you're doing. Your training workload is incorrect. You're not deloading correctly. You're performing an exercise incorrectly, or you have created a muscle imbalance. Because I can assure you that a lot of things are caused by muscle imbalances. Things like not having strong enough rotator cuffs and rear delts to handle what you're doing on the front side on some sort of press. All right, that's a common one. Most knee pain and knee injuries in a joint are caused by having hamstrings that are too weak compared to your quads. Muscle imbalances. And many others are caused by just performing exercises incorrectly at too high of a workload. Pressing with your shoulders flared out. I mean, that's right there at the top of the list. Anyone who's experienced shoulder joint damage, that is a pretty good chance. Most people who lift weights, 80 to 90% of them, that's how they did it. By flaring too much and probably having weak rotator cuffs and weak rear delts. Terrible combination. Muscle imbalances, performing exercises incorrectly, using too high of workloads without giving yourself adequate time to recover and deload and adapt. So just overall poor training methods. And Band-Aid fixes like this don't teach people that, hey, I'm doing something wrong. They use them as a fix to make the pain go away so they can keep doing the same stupid fucking shit that's hurting them. And I'm going to call it that, because if someone does that, it's stupidity. And it's something that needs to be ingrained in people over and over and over so that they understand. And I'm not trying to be insulting to them, but I need to be at a certain point, because if you're doing something that's injuring you and damaging your body, and you just put a Band-Aid fix over to wrap a sleeve, some of this Kinesio tape, trying to make the pain go away so that you can keep doing the same stupid fucking shit that's causing the pain, you're eventually going to snap something, or you're going to build up scar tissue or inflammation that's going to stay there indefinitely, and it's going to restrict your abilities. It's stupidity, and people need to stop doing this. It has no place in fitness. This is how you end up crippled. This is how you end up injured. It's stupid. Nothing, plain and simple, and the people selling these devices are hustling you. Just like the people selling this Kinesio tape, it's a hustle. There's no reason it should even work. It only works through placebo. Look at what it does on the body. It's completely useless. It's just a placebo to reduce pain. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.